Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
Man, I don't know about you, but I'm a little wind-burnt from yesterday's end of show, the Young and Norvelle show, particularly our second or last 45 minutes or so, second hour yesterday or last 45 minutes. We had Jaguar news fast and furious. Terry Norvelle here on a Friday. Let me see if I can get my, here we go, test 1, 2. There we go, a little bit better. I want to hear myself a little bit because, well, frankly, Zach Rothrock, as I introduce our producer, I like hearing myself talk, Zach. I like hearing myself talk. Couldn't hear myself a minute ago.
That is one thing I have noticed.
Hey, right out of the gate, we got a nice person saying hello to us. Did you see that? Hello.
I did see that. Hello.
Hello, right
Mr.
back
Wolf.
on a Friday.
Thank you.
Right back at you on a Friday. Friday, a lot of topics to cover. We hope to hear from Patrick Young. He is heading to, and you know, Zach, you've heard Pat all week. He has not been looking forward to tomorrow. He's got to be in the studio all day. Tomorrow is SEC Network, SEC basketball, men's basketball. It is final regular season games. So you've got all 16, you got 8 games, 16 teams playing on a Saturday, and he's got to do halftime hits on a bunch of them, right? So,
yeah, it's going to be a full Saturday for Patrick.
Yeah, so we hope to hear from Patrick Young here on the Young and Norvelle Show as we go 4 to 6. Brent Beard, we hope to catch up with. Spring football has pretty much started across the country. Almost everybody's kind of started they've got 15 days. Now, everybody's schedule's a little bit different. A lot of times your spring, you got 15 days to get your spring practice in, I think, and there's an allotted like 2 months, I think it is. But there's enough wiggle room. A lot of schools, some programs, they want to have most of their days before their spring break. Some programs want to have it all done before spring break. Some programs don't care. But you know what I mean? Everybody's spring break doesn't fall the same time. You understand what I'm saying, Zach?
I do.
So some coaches go, you know what? Our spring break is late in March. Let's start early in March, get our 15 days in and be done before spring break. So everybody doesn't. Now, most of your big spring games and or whatever exhibition they're going to have now, because a lot of people are killing the spring game, will be around that mid-April, that second Saturday. But we'll talk some college football, SEC spring college football with Brent Beard. I've got a lot of news and notes. Brent does as well. We've got to back up. We're going to talk about JU. The Dolphins fell short yesterday. Man, and that crazy scenario we talked about could have happened. JU closed to within 3 points in the second half. They ended up losing big, but they closed within 3 points a couple times. We'll talk about JU and how close they came to qualifying. Last night, Queens almost did JU and or North Alabama a big favor. But, Zach, let's back up. We got SEC basketball. We got Gator spring practice. We've got some sports news, this date in sports history, a lot of stuff to get to. What about the last hour of yesterday's show when I don't know what got into Jaguar Central, but – They were trading guys and cutting guys, and you've had a day to digest. I've had a day to digest. I've got some strong opinions on what is going on now with the Jaguars. Anything come to mind having digested now for 24 hours? Have you got any thought processes after what they have? They had a trade with Kirk. They had a release of Ingram, a release of somebody, Josh Reynolds was no factor. A retirement, wink, wink, of Mitch Morris. That happened after we went off the air. And by the way, that's a wink, wink. They told him, dude, you're not
Feels like it.
You're not any good. And I think I'm missing one or two more. What an afternoon for the Jaguars cleaning. That was a house. They call that a house cleaning, Zach. House cleaning.
Yeah, I mean, they freed up $25 million in cap. I think $60 million altogether. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good move. I think it's a good series of moves. It's not sitting on your hands.
Yeah.
It's not it's recognizing that changes need to be made, and it's making changes. And so, I mean, I like it. I like the idea of it. Now, I understand you're parting ways with some players that were a big part of the team, but, I mean, the team didn't make it that far. So, like, I don't know. I mean, it's better for Liam Cohen, for James Gladstone, for them to go ahead and start getting guys that fit their system and fit their formula, and that's what they're going for. So, yeah, I like it.
I'm pretty much in lockstep with you there. Two things stood out, and I've digested now a day. Two things from the Jaguar, and don't let anybody tell you. I don't care if it's Tony Baselli. I don't care if it's Shad Khan. That was a house cleaning yesterday,
right?
And that was a house cleaning. And that was the start of a rebuild. And I know I heard some local media this morning. Well, it's not a rebuild. You know, they said when Liam Cohen was at the podium, this is not a rebuild. That's a rebuild, my man.
Yeah,
and that is a house cleaning.
I think they don't want to use the term rebuild because you still got Lawrence. You still got 16 at quarterback, and he's locked to a lot of money. So you kind of want to look at it as a reload.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, I know I threw out the two numbers earlier, just to make it clear, because I kind of stumbled over it a little bit. So yesterday they cleared up $25 million in salary cap. And that gives them a total of $60 million for the offseason.
Yeah,
so that gives them a total of $60 million.
That's what you said.
Okay.
I wrote those two numbers
Okay.
down.
I just want to make sure that I said it correctly.
So they are in the $60 million to the good to go play in free
in the
agency.
green, right?
To go play, because I'm glad you brought that up.
Which that's a lot. That's a good chunk for one year.
Because remember, I had this sheet and I printed it out.
Oh man!
And this was a month ago or so.
That's like a real GM spreadsheet.
How about that?
That's more professional than anything I saw that Giants GM doing that whole Hard Knock series.
No doubt. I don't know how I did this, but one of the rare times at home in my little home office prepping the show about a month ago, I said, I want to know how much cap space does each team have? And I actually pulled something up. I hit print, and the printer actually worked that day.
Wow, what a rare occurrence.
You know, because home printers are like the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Temperamental son of a gun.
They're like a McDonald's ice cream machine.
They work every other Monday,
yeah.
I think. But anyway, I'm glad you said that, Zach. You said $25 million they cleared with all those moves.
Right.
And they're sitting right at, and not on exactly, but right at $60 million of money to play with, to offer.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's good. Because when I printed this, I don't know if there's a date. Okay, January 8th. I've had this since January 8th. This was like right at the end of the season, going into the playoffs and all. Who has what? And at that time, the Jaguars were 17th, basically in the middle of the league, right? Mm-hmm. In terms of cap space. They had 39. Had 40, and obviously a dollar here and a dollar there, but add 25 to 39, and you're in and around that 60. Yeah, so they're now in that 60. By the way, the Patriots, I think, are still at the top. They went into the cap season with $126 million to play with.
That's a lot. It feels like they probably got about the least amount of talent, though, so that also kind of adds up.
They're number one. You know, there were like 5 or 6 franchises that are over the cap. They have to make moves.
The Saints are the craziest one to me, and it's because they kick the can down the road.
And they're the very bottom.
Yeah, and it feels like their roster is not great.
The Saints went into salary cap season, which we're in now, $66 million over the cap.
Yeah,
dead last.
Insanity.
Dead last. Let me go back to what these moves yesterday told me, and 2 things stood out to me, and I'll stand by them. Number one. This is a totally new regime. We know that. The head coach is new, the general manager is new, the coordinator's new, the other coordinator's new. Tony Baselli is a rookie at what is so the regime. This is a new regime. Mm-hmm. Number one, yesterday those moves told me this regime right now, the current Jaguar regime, said, "Hey man, philosophy number one, we're gonna win or lose with our own guys."
Oh yeah,
we ain't coming in here and taking over some other guys that made good decisions. We're gonna win or lose with our own guys, and I like that. Right? Wouldn't you rather you make your eyeball your player personnel decisions instead of inheriting a bunch? Now there's some you inherit Trevor and you inherit Brian Tom. I get that, and Hines Allen.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
But they came in and basically one said, we're going to do this with our guys. If we win big or if we lose big, we're not getting shown that door by saying, damn, we probably should have cleaned out all of Doug Peterson's trash. Right?
The consensus is that they're getting rid of everyone who doesn't fit the certain mold in which they are looking for. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is the guy that's going to fit pretty much any team's mold for what they're looking for.
Probably the second thing that stood out to me after we were reporting on this yesterday, and it was fast and furious, and then digesting 24 hours. The second thing, and I'll stand by this. Nobody's told me this, but I'll stand by this as plain as the nose on my face. Liam Cohen, his negotiation, he and his agent, and their discussions with Shad Khan, they got the assurance that this 2025 is a free first year. They are not going to be judged. I don't care if they go 0-17 and they lose every game 100-0. We're cleaning house. It's a rebuild. I'm telling you, Liam Cohen and his agent sitting down with Shad Khan and all his bean counters when they probably talked a couple times. Cohen and his agent said, well, listen, Khan, we're very interested in this job. And obviously, you're very interested in us. We're back for the second or third interview. We know there's interest. This is a total rebuild. We're going to bust it down and get our guys in. We do not in any way, shape, or form want to be judged on year one. Yesterday told me I'm 100% correct now. Year one, Shad Khan doesn't want to lose, but I think he understands and he signed off on, hey, man, do what you got to do. Now, year two, we need to see some forward movement. Yeah. But this tells me year one, I don't want to say throwaway because you got to be careful as the organization. You said it a minute ago. Be careful of the words you use because you're still trying to sell tickets and you're still trying to get excitement because the last thing you want is the word throwaway or rebuild, as you said a moment ago. If you prominently feature the words throwaway, rebuild, then and you factor in the stadium situation and the team's going to be gone, what incentive do you have? If you're a Jaguar fan, why the hell go see some games this year?
Yeah, those
see me in 28. That's what the fan could say, right?
Yeah, those words don't sell tickets.
No,
and I mean, also you got to look at a team like the Washington Commanders, what they were able to do in a 1-year turnaround, and they play in a division where they had to play the Eagles twice, and the Eagles punked them when they played them.
Yeah.
And they also had to play a tough schedule. They had to play against the AFC North, so they had to play against the Ravens, the Bengals, the Steelers, etc. And the Jaguars have a significantly softer schedule. The AFC South is significantly I mean, they don't have the reigning Super Bowl champs in their division. Yep. So, I mean, the other side is you got to look at it and say, I mean, why can't we just make a few drastic moves and have a drastic turnaround and have a chance to at least be compete? I think the goal should be to, on week 18, when all the teams are playing that final game, you want to be at least one of those teams that's on the bubble that at least has to win and have X, Y, and Z happen to get in the playoffs.
I hear you.
That's where you want to be.
And if that happens, I think that is like finding an extra $20 in your pants pocket when you're doing laundry. But I think Cohen and them, in case that doesn't happen, I think Cohen and his agent were smart enough to go, hey, don't judge us on year one. We've got to we don't want to say that the word. This is a rebuild. This is a house cleaning. This really what about and you know me. I'm kind of Zach. You've known me a long time. Mm-hmm. Probably some words if you describe me: humble. I like to give credit to other people. I don't like to be the star of the show. I know. I'm a humble guy probably. My God. I think any sports fan in Jacksonville and any Jaguar fan, why the hell would you not watch and listen to our show? Because, and I'm being serious here for a minute.
Wow.
I think I'm one of the few guys in this market, and I pick at my colleagues. I call them the fluffy local Jaguar media. I mean that a lot. My God. Zach, I hate to, hey, look at me. Patting myself on the back. Zach.
I get it.
I'm not sure I missed anything last offseason going into this. And I was the only guy saying, what is a Mitch Morse? Guys, what are you talking about? What is a Gabe? Guys, what is a Gabe Davis?
Very anti-Gabe Davis, yeah.
But I mean, what was he?
Not a great addition.
Eric Armstead, 30 years old.
Now the local media is jumping. I'm like, what did y'all see? Mitch Morse got told, you aren't an NFL player. He didn't. You know Mitch Morse did not retire yesterday, right?
Yeah, that was a wink, wink.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, yeah. The most exciting time to be a Jaguar fans are the months between March and August.
The local Jaguar fluffy media,
definitely true.
And they'll do it again, and they'll do it again. I'm telling you, Jaguar fan, I will be at least the neutrality voice of reason. I'm not saying I'm going to hit everything, but I'm not ever going to come on this air or any air I'm on in March, April, May, June, July and go, damn, we're in the dog days, man. There's not a lot going on. If we could just get to, hey, man, I know what I can do for 2 hours. Jaguars are going to be great, man. Mitch Morse is going to be the best center. Gabe Davis, I'm telling you, this guy is Jerry Rice reincarnated. Man, let me tell you, Eric Armstead, he was just in a bad situation. I know he's 30 years old with a lot of money. I'm never going to be that guy. And I'm never going to be that guy with teams I cover, Jaguars, or programs I absolutely adore. The University of Florida Gators. I have ripped it. I've been telling people Billy Napier should have been fired. And hopefully he's done some things to cover his ass. But no, are the fans going to fall for it again? Because you can see the local media already starting. A lot of the local media I see and hear like you do. We're here in Jacksonville. Ripping into this one and ripping into the. Well, 8 months ago, you were saying, man, Mitch Morse, there's a rock you can build the offensive line. Mitch Morse? Why would Buffalo have gotten rid of him? If he was any good, why would?
Yeah, that's always the thing. Like, why are these players available if they're so great in the prime of their career?
Oh, my goodness. It's going to be fun to see how they – I think, and we got a long way to go. We don't know who the free agents let me back up. I'm going to skip what I was about to say. Let me back up. It is a risky – you can cut it any way you want it. If you look at it objectively, the way the Jaguars' top 5 jobs, non-football player jobs, the way they are 5 guys that have never done the job before, that's risky. Can you imagine if we were a corporation and we had a bunch of divisions? A major corporation with major divisions. You are the blank division. You're the this division. You do different things. Can you imagine going into a fiscal year and you said, every one of our leaders of the top 5 divisions have never, ever, ever, ever been a leader of a division at that level before? That's what the Jaguars are doing. Do y'all know that? Do y'all realize that?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely spooky. That sounds bad.
I don't think it's ever been done before.
Potentially not. Not at this level, in this sport, in this league. Probably not. But, I mean, what could be worse on the other side of that is having 5 curmudgeons that have been fired left and right and been on the same coaching carousel.
Could be.
I mean, maybe they've never had a chance to learn how to do the job wrong. Maybe they've only learned how to do it right. Maybe they're the new age. Maybe
could be.
I mean, I'm optimistic about it. I like the idea and the mindset behind the hires, and I like the idea of it. I mean, you got Baselli to be he's the franchise. He's the former player that just kind of gives you that kind of legacy credibility, so to speak. And then you got Liam Cohen getting the first shot as the head coach. He's been the hot shot OC. Baker Mayfield had his best season in his career underneath him. Will Levis looked like a first-round draft pick underneath him. You got James Gladstone, who's in that same fraternity, the Sean McVay mindset as Liam Cohen. So they I think that they're going to see things on the same level and kind of just and once you see things on the same level, it's easier to add the complicated layers to the onion and start or peeling off whatever. There's going to be layers to it, is what I'm trying to say.
Let me ask you this, and we'll just play a little story here.
Sure.
Play a little game here. Okay. What if, and let's pick a AFC South rival, the Titans, Tennessee Titans, a franchise that's been the bane of the Jaguars' existence, right, over the years.
They really have.
Okay, just for what's and giggles, and Zach, you answer this, and you folks watching and listening. If the Tennessee Titans just went out
2-3 weeks ago and hired Liam Cohen as their head coach. Never been a head coach. Liam Cohen bounced between college and pro, pro and college, college and pro, pro. Liam Cohen is their head coach. They went out and hired James Gladstone as their general manager. Never been a general manager. The head guy, the number one guy. So no head coach experience. No, you're the ultimate general manager experience. They then went out and hired a 29-year-old offensive coordinator named Udinsky, who's never been an offensive coordinator. He's been an assistant. He's never been the guy. They then went out and hired Campanelli, a guy named Campanelli, who's 42. He's the graybeard, sort of. He's right. So he's never been a defensive coordinator. The head running the defense, okay? So there's 4. And then they went out and hired, not Tony Baselli, they went out and hired Eddie George.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Who's college coach, but Eddie George has never, ever, ever been anything near the executive director of player personnel, whatever Baselli's done. Okay, those were your 5 Titan hires. What would Jag Nation be saying about that?
Honestly, I think that the pessimistic side, potentially like Mr. Norvelle, I think that you'd be like, oh man, these guys are loading up. They got these young billionaires. They're building up Dr. Evil and his crew over there. I think it might make them shake in their boots a little bit.
I think you're a nut job about that. That answer right there, I think, is the stupidest thing you've said.
I don't think so.
I think Jaguar Nation.
I'm like, man, Eddie George is back.
I think Jaguar Nation would be going, what in the hell? They have no their top 5 jobs have never been in the job. Not one of them, not 2 of them, none of them. I think Jaguar Nation would be going, that's going to backfire.
Why is it better to have had the job before and have been fired from it than to have never had the job at all?
Well, when you were 18, 19, 20, 21 trying to get your first job, your resume didn't have anything on it, and it was hard to get your first job.
Yeah, and I think I'd have been doing a lot better at the job than these, like, 40-year-olds that have been bouncing left and right that hate their job and hate their life.
All right. As we go to break, I think you may have just soiled your Jaguar underpants, so you might want to go. You're wearing Jaguar underpants today again, aren't you?
I'm the opposite of a Jaguar.
You got your Jaguar Garanimals on. Don't
I'm just optimistic about
ask
these.
Jaguar Nation. If Jaguar Nation's honest, I think Jaguar Nation in the offseason will be looking at the AFC South and going, well, hell, the Titans aren't going to be. What the hell? They don't have anybody that knows what the hell they're doing.
I feel that way about the Titans right now. I feel like the Jaguars are making the good moves.
It is an easy offseason. I think year 1 is a throwaway. So let's get to year 2. If year 2 goes great for the Jaguars, I think, and you've heard me use this phrase before, when you do something unconventional and it works, it's called cutting edge. If the Jaguars year 2 are good, then what they're doing with this youth movement, they may be the poster child. They may be called cutting edge. If you do something unconventional and it flops, you're called an idiot.
Well, yeah, I mean,
right?
I think it's been trending recently for the younger coaches to get their shots.
Sure it has.
Oh, man, I can't think of the guy's name in Green Bay right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're right.
You get the idea. They're all going young.
There are multiple NFL head coaches that got their first job in their 30s, and that never happened.
Yeah.
The last decade, there have been multiple. Now, I don't think there have been the top 5 jobs in the organization. First time. I mean, that's what's scary.
I get that, and how
that's what's scary.
They don't have like a veteran to kind of lean on, so to speak. They don't. Yeah. I get why that could be bad.
Hey, but you're right. If they hit, and again, I'm not going to judge much on year 1. I'm telling you, I think the Jaguar staff. I think this first year, it's a rebuild. I think yesterday's show, it's a rebuild. I really do. Do you think, and I wanted to throw this out, I know we're past our first break. We'll get back to it. With regard to free agency, a lot of times free agency comes down to the player and his agent going, okay, I only have a couple more years to be at the high level. You know, it's a short, quick window.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think all the newness, and I'm probably not the only guy that looks at Jacksonville and goes, hey, man, that's a total rebuild. Some people don't, but I think a lot of people do. And a lot of players and a lot of agents go, that's a total rebuild.
I think they just need a few pieces.
Do you think it's a total rebuild / man, they've got a bunch of guys that have never done their jobs before at that level. You think that'll scare off any free agents? I don't want to go flounder for 2 more. I only got, a free agent that says, hey, man, I'm in my second go-around. I only got 3 or 4 years. I don't want to go there right now.
I don't think they're going to get anyone at a discount, like a championship discount, like the Patriots used to back in the day, and the Chiefs probably could. But, I mean, if they put out a competitive price, I think they'll get their guys.
Yeah. I always think, though, that Jacksonville, if the money's kind of the same between 2 or 3 franchises chasing the same guy, I don't think Jacksonville very often gets the nod. I don't think the player goes, damn, New Orleans, I can live in New York, or I can live in Jacksonville. The money's all the same, roughly, within a few pennies. I'm going to Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it goes.
The cost of living will be so much less here.
Yeah, but it has never helped.
Yeah. I mean, you're right.
The no state income tax, the we play on grass field, the cost of living, it's been 30. It's never helped. It's never helped. Interesting. Dude, don't look now, but our little Young and Norvelle show, I told you not to look. I saw it. Let's try this again. Don't look now. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Our little Young and Norvelle show, which we lean. Every show has a personality. We lean heavy college sports and college football. Don't look now. That was a big-time Jaguar discussion segment right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, when they release a quarter of the roster and free up $25 million in cap space, you gotta spend the first chunk of the show talking about it. You got to play the hits.
Yeah, you do. You really do. Now, as we go to break, Zach, I have not really been looking at the headlines, so the Jaguars may have released another 12, 13, 14 players. We'll look during the break, okay?
Yeah, I've been periodically checking. Nothing new has come across that I have noticed, at least.
You never know. All right, one down, a long way to go. JU basketball, it was a fun little run. We'll talk about that, how close the Dolphins actually got last night to getting in. A big SEC Saturday of basketball. We'll get into that. We'll keep the Jaguar discussion going on. We got some This Day in Sports history. A lot going on, including we hope to hear from maybe Patrick Young and hopefully Brent Beard as well. Spring SEC football news and notes. We've got those coming up as well. Stay with us. It's a Friday edition of the Young Norvelle Show. Sports Jacks, I should say.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
All right, let's shift our discussion to some college basketball as it is that time of year. Oh, my goodness gracious. We've got the final regular season Saturday is tomorrow for all your power conferences. And then next week, the conference playoff tournament will start. Got a lot of basketball, including JU. I think we got Patrick Young on. Look at that. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at that picture we got of this guy.
What's happening?
We got you in your green JU, and JU Dolphins season came to an end last night. Patrick, they really struggled. They closed it to 3 a couple times in the second half, but
they couldn't defend. They couldn't stop the other team. They couldn't stop it at all.
They couldn't stop North Alabama, and McCray. I think he finally got some trash points to get near 19 or 20, but he had an off night, and they didn't need that. He couldn't finish. The Dolphins were sloppy last night, and their season ended. But did you see where Queens had a 10-point lead on Lipscomb, and they lost in overtime? Do you realize had JU somehow pulled that game out when they closed it to 3, if Queens had won that game, JU would have been in by 11 o'clock last night. Yeah, but Lipscomb won it. Lipscomb won it in overtime. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah,
still a good season for Queens. Still a good season.
Yeah, and nice way to get in. I think they're all the way into Division I next year, so they don't have to worry about it.
Is it 2 seasons? Is it 2 seasons that they make you, or just the first year?
I think it's like 4, and they've been bouncing around for 3 or 4. Yeah, I think it's like 4. But all in all, a pretty good year for JU. I mean, you covered them a lot. Would you agree? I know they lost to the hometown rivals.
I think they should have had a better. I think they could have been better. I think what hurt them so much, and he had his best game of the season last night. Jakari Spence at the point guard position. He's not the Robin to Robin McCray's Batman.
I agree. Spence, I think, played out of his mind last night, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's not that good, I don't think.
You know what? And what hurt him? What I heard is that he played 6 minutes one season. Oh, another camera. We're putting camera on. Sorry, apologies.
Oh, there we go.
One season, and did not get that shirt redshirted or something along the lines where it's just like, dang, that's ridiculous, because he needed the development.
Yeah,
our man can't shoot. They leave him open. They want him to take as many of those threes and long jump shots as possible.
He hit 2 3-pointers last night, and that was found money for JU. I was stunned he made them. I was stunned. But a fun, if you're playing into the semifinal round, you've probably had a pretty good year. JU's bigs, they were hot when I watched them play. JU's bigs, they didn't finish good around the basket consistently enough. You never knew, you never knew what you were going to get when you got Payne or Rivers or that one other big. They could get the ball 4 feet away, and you just never knew what you were going to get.
I felt that for them the whole season.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
their bigs were not very skilled. They're good.
Yeah.
I really like Payne, but he's not very skilled.
Agree.
Like his jump shot is or his hook shot is so flat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he
And
throws it at the rim instead of hooking it at the rim.
And man, JU last night was sloppy. They just turned the ball over. They gave turnovers away. And I'll tell you the other thing that hurts JU, and there may be something on the drawing board. I don't know, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. But you look around at, like last night, North Alabama, not a big arena, but a tight little 5,000 or 6,000 seat arena, packed to the rafters.
Oh yeah, it was packed.
And it
You
looked
could tell.
and it looked modern. And I love Swisher, but JU, they're behind. You imagine you go on a recruiting trip to North Alabama's gymnasium, and you go to Swisher, and it's a big. Even UNF's arena is more conducive to showing it off than Swisher. And I get it. JU, the campus and the way the topography. They've done studies. You can't really expand Swisher. It's on a hill, kind of. The valley. They call it the valley right there.
It's very awkward. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an awkward. You almost have to build a new place, and you can't build nowadays. My God, you can't build a 6,000 seat, nice, intimate arena for less than $85 million or $50. Right? Where are you going to get the money? Where are you going to get that money? That's hard to do. Patrick, I don't know if you know. There's a guy on the college broadcast starting to bug me. Richard Hendricks. He's starting to bug me.
I know it.
And I like Richard Hendricks. I remember him playing at Alabama. But Richard Hendricks and John Schifrin will be on the call tomorrow for Florida Ole Miss. Hendricks, the former Alabama player, will be the analyst.
He's okay, yeah.
Nice guy, but man, I want that to be you. That is senior day.
Right?
It's senior day in Gainesville. Patrick Young, you should be on the analyst call of that game tomorrow.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
I mean, what is it going to cost you? About $30 of gas to get over there? Come
That's
on.
it, man. It's if that.
Yeah.
And I drive a truck.
And you don't even need a hotel room. You could tell them, I'll drive over and back. I don't even need a hotel room.
I probably would have stayed overnight.
Maybe, yeah.
From that game against, who was it? Oh, A&M. That was at 8:30.
Yeah. Definitely.
No,
So we've got tomorrow in the SEC. We've got all 16 teams are playing. We've got 8 games, and a lot of the games are early because these teams want to get a head start on getting back home. Pat, I want to go through some of these 8 games, and you tell me if one of these programs needs it more than the other. Just kind of let's walk through them, okay? Tomorrow, high noon, Kentucky at Missouri. That's like 19th ranked Kentucky, 15th Missouri. Missouri's gotten a little sideways lately.
They have.
What are your thoughts on Kentucky, Missouri? Who needs it more?
Both losses for Missouri on the road.
Yeah.
Kentucky's they've had a pretty good season for a first-year coach. I
agree.
Missouri plays great at home. I don't think Kentucky has a signature road win.
Yeah.
Yet.
And remember
some great home wins. Missouri really needs it.
And remember, I think this matters in college to a degree. Every team we talk about, Patrick, when we look at the schedule for tomorrow, every home team, it's senior day. It's senior day, so there'll be a little more juice, a little more juice in the building. Let's move on. Mississippi State on the road tomorrow at Arkansas. Boy, I think it's a big game for Arkansas. State's in. Mississippi State's in. Arkansas, they might one more win may do it for Arkansas. I think, don't you?
Yeah, I'm just not. I'm not impressed with Mississippi State. Like I don't think.
Yeah.
I think they're solid. And Coach Jans knows it. That like when he first got there, they couldn't shoot. They're still not a great shooting team. They're tough. They're defensive. I just, if you can stop Josh Hubbard, then they're in serious trouble.
Yeah. We move on. Another noon game again.
Arkansas. I think they got a shot. They need the game more.
They do. That's where I was going. Arkansas probably needs it more at home. Senior day. I think Arkansas may be one more win away from getting in. It's interesting, like I said, Pat. A lot of these games are early tips because all these teams want to get out of Dodge and get back home. How about this one? Vanderbilt. I think Vandy's safely in the tournament. Vanderbilt at Georgia.
Bigger game for Georgia, probably, wouldn't you say?
I feel like Vandy's done enough
I do too.
to be in.
I do
I
too.
think they've done enough. I think Georgia has done enough. That 5 or 6 games, but it
Yeah,
won't hurt. It will not hurt at all for them
no,
to take this win at home.
not at all.
Is and they've been playing better, man. They've been playing a lot
They
better.
have. I mean, we pick at Mike White a little bit in a nice way, but Georgia's had a nice last 4 or 5 games that surprised me. This
Yeah.
is normally when they go south. So that's a noon game. Vandy at Georgia. I agree with you. I think Georgia needs the game more. 2 o'clock tip. South Carolina, they're out of it unless they win in Nashville. South
That's
Carolina,
crazy what have to happen.
yeah, South Carolina at Tennessee. Tennessee probably will get the win. I think Tennessee is done. They're not going to be a 1 seed with their recent loss. Tennessee needs that game obviously more. Go get a win, Tennessee, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they need to for sure. I
Um,
still, man, I still think Tennessee's at least a
there are
Sweet
2, aren't
16.
they? Yeah,
They're
and
Sweet 16.
they're 2 Sweet 16, and then see what happens. Patrick, next game I want to look at 4 o'clock tip. Texas A&M at LSU. LSU kind of playing out the string unless they do something stupid in Nashville. They're kind of playing out the string. A&M. I think everybody saw A&M beating Auburn the other night. That was a pretty easy prediction. I think Auburn kind of let their guard down a little bit, and A&M really needed that game. I think A&M on the road tomorrow gets this one to go to Nashville on a 2-game winning streak for A&M.
Yeah, going who they got? You said they're going
LSU.
to
They're at LSU, but LSU
oh yeah,
is
yeah.
playing out the
Oh
string.
man, don't be surprised, man. The LSU if they slow down Wade Taylor,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like who else is always who
Yeah.
else is gonna step up? We'll see. Uh it was a not a usual suspect that um led the way.
Yeah.
Was it Phelps or was it no, it wasn't Taylor.
I
Taylor
think it
had
was
no he had an
Phelps.
okay game.
I think it was
Was it
Phelps.
Phelps?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Phelps had a big game the other night to really help them get by. But I'm with you. I think A&M gets the win at LSU. LSU playing out the string a little bit. They're probably one and done in Nashville and collecting uniforms. All right, a couple more games before we talk about Florida, Ole Miss some here, Patrick. Oklahoma at Texas tomorrow. That might be winner in, loser not in. I mean, they may be playing for the 14th or 13th and final spot. Oklahoma is at Texas, 8 o'clock tip. Oklahoma just won't die, will they?
I know. I don't get it. I don't know how they stay around.
Yes.
I have no idea how they're still around.
Any thoughts? The game's in Texas. It's in Austin. Both teams need that win. That might be a dogfight of a game tomorrow night. It could be a hell of a game. Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, Texas has been playing. Both teams have been playing a little bit better. It's not that I don't think they have the skill to be better. I just think every SEC team is much better.
Yeah.
That they face on any given night, and then I just think the coaching for both of those organizations could be a little bit better as well.
I'm with you. And wouldn't surprise me if Texas doesn't make the big dance. Rodney Terry may be gone. Moser may have another year in him at Oklahoma, but I think
I don't think so. It'd be hard for me to believe that.
He may be gone? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The big one in the SEC tomorrow, let's break this down a little bit, Patrick Young. 2:30 tip, kind of a weird tip-off. You don't hear many 2:30 Saturday tip-offs. Alabama scuffled a little bit now. I think the Tide has lost like 4 of their last 6. Alabama at Auburn. Auburn kind of mailed it in the other day against Texas A&M. Senior night in Auburn. Auburn's already beat Alabama. Man, Patrick, Alabama needs the game, but it's not going to be easy senior night in at Auburn, I don't think.
No, it's not, man. And
what do you think?
That's tough. Would that be 3 in a row that Alabama would have lost?
I think it
is.
is.
This one?
And like
Wow.
5 of 7 or so. Yeah, they were in a little
Does
bit of
Florida does Florida need to hop and take that higher 1 seed?
Yeah.
If I think they should. I think Florida should be if Bama, if they still have Bama in, I can't remember what our latest projections have
No,
been.
but Bama wouldn't get a 1. It'd be hard for Bama to get a 1 now.
Yeah, Florida needs to jump.
Florida needs
Whoever.
to. We'll talk about it in a minute. Florida should be ahead of Houston. Is that in
Yeah,
terms
Houston.
of,
There you go.
they're the ones I think, and we'll get to that. How do you think Bama? How do you think Bama Auburn plays tomorrow, man? This is a tough call. It's senior day. Bruce Pearl's so good on days like that, stirring up his team.
Oh man, they're gonna win.
Auburn.
Oh yeah, they're gonna win big time.
Wow.
I got no doubt in my mind. Yeah, I'd be utterly surprised.
Yeah.
If they were able to steal a win, Bama in on the road.
If that
So
happens, if Auburn
25-year-old Chad Baker Mazzaro is not going to let that happen.
Yeah, and if Auburn does win tomorrow, they will have swept Alabama. And man, what a tough ending to the regular season for Bama. They would have lost like 4 of 6 or 5 of 7.
And they're going to be a team that would really benefit from playing really well in the SEC tournament if they end up finishing the regular season like this.
Sure. Yeah, they Alabama, if they lose tomorrow, is it safe to say Alabama then needs to go win a couple games in Nashville just to get their mental aspect, I think, play.
I would say at minimum, you want to get to the championship game if I'm them.
Just to feel good about
Obviously
yourself.
you want to win it, but I don't you want to get to the championship game.
Pat,
that's without doubt.
I don't know. Have you worked any Ole Miss games? I guess you've done halftime of a bunch of games.
Yeah.
Probably. All right. Tell us, Florida has done all their heavy lifting. The Gators went into Tuscaloosa, and I remember when there were 5 games left in the regular season, I said, Patrick Young, I think if Florida goes 4-1, they'll get a number 1 seed. I thought the one loss was going to be at Alabama. It was not. It was at Georgia. If they win, they still go 4-1. What are your thoughts on this matchup? I mean, Florida's done a lot of heavy lifting. It would be a shame for the Gators to fall asleep at the wheel tomorrow on Senior Day. What do you make of Ole Miss's basketball team?
Oh, they're good, man. They have a lot of veteran experience, like Florida does, but I just don't think they have enough talent or length. They're not going to be able. They don't shoot the ball as well as Florida does. The kid Sean Padula is their best player.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on him. I thought Jamin Brakefield, he had a really good game when I can't remember who they just beat, but goodness, you got to keep an eye on him. He pump fakes a lot. Terry, goodness gracious, he pump fakes a lot.
And who's that? Who's the big guy, Dia or whatever? They got
They
got a big thick guy, man.
He's good, but I don't think he'll be able to withstand
the bigs.
Out Condon and Hauk and Chinyulu, like all those guys coming at him constantly. I don't think so.
All right, so I'm with you. I think Florida holds serve tomorrow. They finish off a great regular season. The Gators, I think they will get a 1 seed no matter what happens in Nashville. If they win tomorrow, I think Nashville's a moot point. They could lose Friday night. I don't think they will, but they could lose Friday night. Patrick, I want to throw this out, and feel free to use this. You may already know this when you get to Charlotte tomorrow. Conventional thinking right now. Conventional thinking says if everything stopped right now, Auburn would be the 1 of 1. You know what I mean by that? The number 1 seed. Duke would be the 2 of 1, right? Houston people have as the 3 of 1, and Florida the 4 of 1. Patrick, I think Florida-Houston should be swapped. I don't know if you've looked at Houston's schedule. They're good, by the way. They're good. They're 25-4. They won the Big 12 with like a 14-2, 16-2. They're good. Have you seen who a couple of the losses Houston had?
No, I have not.
But how about this? And you tell me. Florida has played in the SEC, the best conference by a mile. Florida is going to be, 13-4 in the SEC. Houston has 4 losses. 2 of Houston's losses this year were to Alabama and Auburn. Well, guess who Florida has beaten this year? Alabama and all. How can Houston be ahead of Florida for a 1 seed? Florida should be the 3 seed, I think.
Yeah, I agree. At minimum, number 3 for sure. Absolutely.
Houston has lost to Florida and Alabama, and the Gators have beat both of those. By the way, on the road at both of those places.
Yeah, right. Isn't that something? Let's point that out.
At both
Not
those
neutral
places.
site, on the road.
On the road. So there you have it. All right, Pat. I'm assuming you're heading to the airport soon or in the morning. Or yeah, you're heading out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Getting out of here.
Okay. Can you tease us again the sport coat we may see tomorrow?
No, Terry. Goodness gracious.
No. Want to see it. Everybody's watching. TMZ is watching.
Everybody will be watching.
TMZ is watching. All right, buddy. I know you're trying to get your stuff together, and you guys are heading to the airport. Have a safe trip to Charlotte. Have some good calls, and we'll be watching and can't wait to hear what you think as we'll be heading into Nashville when we visit again on Monday.
I know, right?
Thanks, buddy.
Gosh, can't wait. Have a good one, buddy.
Thank you. That's our buddy Patrick Young heading to Charlotte, where he has his SEC Network basketball analyst duties. He'll be on set basically all day tomorrow. Boy, that's a long day. Enjoyable day, but a long day. Patrick will break down with his crew in Charlotte all the games at halftime and really set the scene for Nashville coming up. By the way, it is set now. We don't know who Florida will play in Nashville. The Gators tomorrow play Ole Miss. They host Ole Miss. If you don't know, that's a 6 p.m. tip-off for Florida Ole Miss, one of 8 games. The entire conference plays tomorrow, and they wrap up the regular season. Florida, the following Friday, a week from today, the Gators will play their next basketball game. We know Florida will play the third game on Friday in Nashville. That third game will be the 7 o'clock tip. Florida has clinched the number 2 seed. We don't know who they're playing. And we can guesstimate it's going to be some combination. Looks like Vanderbilt, LSU, Vanderbilt. It could be Ole Miss, as a matter of fact. We'll know all of that after tomorrow's action, but we do know that Florida will, no matter what happens tomorrow across the league, Florida will play Friday night after the double bye next week. Next Friday night, the Gators will tip off at 7 o'clock. The most they could play in Nashville would be 3. The least, obviously, is 1. So Gators, 7 o'clock. We don't know the opponent yet until tomorrow. All right, let's take a quick break, come back, reset, hopefully hear from Brent Beard. Let's turn our attention a little bit to spring football, SEC spring football. Just about everybody has gotten started. I've got a big news and notes page, a lot of it from Brent Beard's news and notes I want to go over with you folks and maybe Brent Beard. Just some things to look at, not every program, but just about every program, some things that they are looking at, trying to fix, hoping to continue. SEC spring football news and notes on the other side. It's the Young and Norvelle Show.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
All right, we're just about ready to get into the second hour here, the Young and Norvelle Show. Terry Norvelle here. We want to thank Patrick Young for jumping on for about 30 minutes as he's heading to JIA, about to get on a big bird and fly up to Charlotte for his SEC Network basketball duties. And we appreciate Patrick jumping on. We hope to hear from Brent Beard as we've got some, we're going to get into some college SEC spring football news and notes right now. And we'll let Brent jump in as he may. But just about every program has kicked off spring ball. And, Zach, it appears that spring games are going the way of the whatever. I mean, I say it all the time. College football is starting to really mirror the NFL.
NFL light.
Yeah, it's pro. They have a lot of the same ingredients. There's basically free agent in both. There's basically, you got to have tampering and non-tampering. You got to have, all the things. Salary caps are coming into college, and the off season in the NFL, they don't have practice games or inter squad games, right? I mean, and as much as coaches are saying, well, I don't want people to see my play. People see your players, okay? That's kind of a weak argument. I think it's just it's almost nobody wants to say it. I think one of the things that's going to kill spring football in college is load management. I mean, the college guys are playing the days of 10 regular season games and a bowl game, 11. That's over. These guys are playing a bunch of games. I think load management is one of the main reasons they don't want to play another game, sort of.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. Another theory that I've heard getting floated out there is it's not actually that the coaches are worried about other teams poaching their players from the practice as much as it is that the media and the fans, they take that practice into consideration much heavier than the other practices, whereas the coaches really don't. And they view the spring game as just the source of a lot of unnecessary drama. Yeah. And the players worrying about where they are on the pecking chart. And so they're worried that their players are going to want to leave because of that.
Yeah, sure. And that's plausible as well.
For sure.
That is very plausible. Before we get into some news and notes from the SEC, kind of a note around Auburn football. It was announced it looks like the Auburn opener has been moved up one day. Auburn was scheduled to open their football season 2025 on, Saturday the 30th, and that's a busy, full day. Auburn and Baylor have decided, the games at Baylor, they've decided to move their game. They'll play Friday the 29th, which I like. It'll give you a nice – There are 3 or 4 games on that day, Friday the 29th, but nothing compelling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is this the best game in the world? Well, probably not, but
it'll be the best one that day.
it'll be the best one that day. And matter of fact, let me pull this up. I remember this morning when I looked it up.
Yeah, I mean that's that time of the year where late August you're itching to you'll watch two middle school teams play each other at that point. So it'll be welcome.
Yes, you will. So I know we're 200 days, 100 and whatever days. Just to look way, way, way ahead, and then we'll get into some news and notes. College football 2025, in essence, starts on Saturday, August 23rd. Okay, there are 4 games, and we're talking Division I games. Stanford, Hawaii. The decent game that day, Kansas State at Iowa State. Iowa State nearly made the playoffs. So there are 4 games on Saturday, the 23rd. Then you get to Thursday, the 28th. Okay, that you wrap around, and you've got quite a few games on Thursday, the 28th. But it still doesn't feel like the real start of college football. There's Nebraska at Cincinnati. It'll be fun to see what Matt Rule has done with Nebraska. It's about time to put up or shut up. But that Thursday, the 28th, nothing just, wow, I got to get home and watch college football. If you're looking at it, East Carolina, North Carolina, there's just nothing big. So the next day on the schedule is Friday, August 29th, and let me get back to it here. That had 4 games and nothing real compelling. Saturday the 30th is a full day of big-time games. Auburn and Baylor have said, let's move our game from Saturday the 30th in a crowded – Saturday, August 30th is really the start of college football.
Right.
It's a full slate of games, and they're compelling. Auburn and Baylor said, hey, wait a minute. Why don't we pull our game out of Saturday the 30th and play it Friday the 29th? And they'll be the big dog. I mean, here you've got 4 games on the 29th of August. Kennesaw State, Wake Forest, Wagner, Kansas, App State, Charlotte, Tarleton State, Army. You throw Auburn and Baylor right there, and that's what you just said a moment ago. I'll watch the hell out of that.
Yeah, that's a premium matchup. Yeah, I mean, you always want to do whatever you can do to maximize exposure to your program. So, yeah, why not?
So I love that. I just want to get that out. While we're here, while I'm on it, though, Saturday, the 30th of August, what I'm going to really consider, it's not officially the first day. There's some weekends before. This is the start. Man, there's some good games. There's some damn good. How about Alabama at Florida State?
Yeah.
How about, let me just go down. LSU Clemson is Saturday, August 30th.
With the battle for Death Valley.
Yeah, how about that? Let me see. Tennessee, Syracuse, and don't forget, Syracuse had a really good year under Fran Brown, the Kirby Smart disciple. Tennessee at Syracuse is that day. Texas at Ohio State. You remember that game? I mean,
oh yeah.
How that could be the best game of the year.
Yeah.
I mean,
one of them.
The Arch Manning and Jeremiah Smith at Texas, Ohio State.
Yeah, that's
so
a good game.
In addition to Alabama, FSU, kind of to see how bad FSU is going to be again or good. Clemson, LSU, Texas, Ohio State. I mean, you could stop right there, and that's a hell of a Saturday, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. You gotta imagine how loud or how hot the seat will be for Kalen DeBoer if he drops that game.
They probably won't, but you're right.
Yeah.
A fun game that's going to get buried on that day. Utah at UCLA. That would be a fun game to watch. Let me see what else we've got. How about Georgia Tech, who's playing good football now? You have to admit that they beat FSU. They lost in 7 overtimes to Georgia. How about Week 1, August 30th? Georgia Tech at Colorado. I'll watch the hell out of that to see what does Colorado have. Georgia Tech's good. Let me see if there's anything else. But I mean, right there, what a fun opening Saturday. I mean, those 4 games I just mentioned. Then the next day, you're in that Labor Day weekend, right? The next day, Sunday, August 31st. South Carolina, Virginia Tech, the Beamer Bowl.
The Beamer Bowl, yeah.
How about that?
We hear that a few times.
Yeah, absolutely. The Beamer Bowl, that should be a good game. And how about the second game on that day, Sunday the 31st, Notre Dame at Miami?
Oh, yeah.
Watch the hell out of that game. And then to wrap up that long Labor Day weekend, Monday, Labor Day 1st, this is more of a
a car wreck everybody's got to watch kind of thing. TCU at North Carolina. Obviously, TCU at Bill Belichick.
Yeah, but yeah.
That's the, the Belichick.
You got to check that out.
You got to watch that game, though. I will say this, too. Researching this little segment, I buried, just like most national people, Notre Dame had a terrible schedule last year. Terrible that if you went on strength of schedule, they never should have even made the playoffs. Notre Dame, I don't know if they did it or it just fell in their lap. Notre Dame's got a nice schedule this year. I'm going to go over Notre Dame because I pick at them a lot. I want to be fair. Here's Notre Dame's schedule, and good for them. If they make the playoff and make a run this year, well, they've done something. They open up at Miami. Notre Dame is at Miami. Week 2, the return game, Texas A&M comes into Notre Dame. How about that? Notre Dame goes Miami, Texas A&M back-to-back. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. They have Purdue, interstate game. And then game 4, the team's not great, but it's going to be a snake pit at Arkansas. Notre Dame is at Arkansas. They never go to Arkansas.
No, yes, yeah, that's fresh.
And
They're
then
playing some people. I guess Arkansas is not a powerhouse, but you know what I mean. They're finally playing people.
That's an SC. Yeah, so
not Northern Illinois.
3 of my Notre Dame, 3 of their first 4 games at Miami, Texas A&M, at Arkansas. They chase the Arkansas game. Boise State comes in to South Bend. I mean, that's a decent opponent.
Yeah.
Boise State.
Could be.
Then they jump into their ACC. They've got NC State. Then they play USC, Southern Cal. That's going to be a good game. At Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, and Stanford. Notre Dame's schedule has greatly heated up compared to last year.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start playing people or else you're going to start getting left out.
Yeah.
So I guess they got the memo as far as that goes.
They may have. I mean, you don't have to follow it. You play that schedule, you go 11-1, 12-0.
Oh, yeah, they'd definitely be in.
10-2. They're in the
they would.
They're in the argument. They're damn sure in the argument. They are. So good for Notre Dame for heating up their schedule. I don't know if it just fell in their lap like that or you know, but they definitely heated up their schedule there. I'll tell you what. Why don't we do? I'm gonna squeeze in some this date in sports history. Save our SEC spring news and notes for the following segment. Maybe we'll have Brent Beard. I'd like Brent to comment on some of these things, SEC wise. So let's
for sure.
Let me get to. I was just messing around this morning. I thought there's some fun stuff to get to. We may take an early break. This date sports history, and Zach, there may be even a. Let me see if it's in here. Oh yeah. There may be even a trivia question I'm gonna throw your way. Okay.
Oh man.
And I'm gonna give you a parameter. You're gonna have a number of years either side, but. Let's do some this date in sports history just to make us all a little bit smarter. You never know when you're going to be asked these questions. This is just kind of a statement, though. 1857. So we're going back a year or two, okay? 1857. Major League Baseball, as it was in its infant stage, that's what you say in 1857. Baseball, they made a proclamation. They said, hey, we got an idea. Zach, get a load of this. We're going to call a baseball game an actual game after 9 innings, not 9 runs.
They used to the rule?
Yeah, they used to. And I don't know if it was a combined 9 runs or the first time a guy got to 9 runs, they won. But,
oh, my God.
But they said, hey, let's do that 9-inning thing instead of that 9-run thing.
Yeah, that's chaos. So, I mean, in theory, the team could win on the top of the first.
I guess so.
Oh, my God.
But, you know, if you really think, not just sports, but life in general, but we'll keep it at sports. If you really think from a sports standpoint, crazy things like this, we say is crazy. Well, keep in mind, if you were at the first day ever of sports, nothing would be set. So you wouldn't know where to say, okay, if they score, if a football goes across the goal line, is that 1 point, 6 points, 4 points, 100?
Yeah.
I mean, you would have to set everything.
Yeah,
right?
You don't know what you don't know.
Hey, when in baseball, when you hit the ball, you go clockwise or counterclockwise. It's got to be set somewhere.
It could be either, yeah.
So, anyway, I'm glad they did the 9-inning thing. Aren't you?
Yeah, the game could also, in theory, last forever. It could just never, yeah.
Hey, and the TV boys couldn't live with that, could they? They need the 9-inning thing.
Oh, God, no, yeah. You never know when it's going to end. That's way too inconsistent.
Here's a good one. This date, sports history, and this is hard to believe, 1955. You can look at that date, and some people would say a million years ago, or some people say
depending on the context, not that long ago. I'm going to say in the context, this blows me away. This date, sports history, 1955. At the time, sitting Major League Baseball commissioner Ford Frick, you may have heard that name, Ford Frick, one of the known baseball guys. He came out, this did not get passed, but the commissioner in 1955 came out and said, you know what? I would be in favor of bringing back the spitball.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't think that would fly in the. Yeah.
Learn it out, baby.
Particularly not in the post-COVID era.
Yes, I thought of COVID as well.
Yeah.
I thought of that. But when you think of baseball, isn't it hard to believe that one of the power brokers in the great game of baseball said, you know what? I wouldn't exactly kill the vote if they voted for the spitter. Bring back the spitter.
Yeah, I'm okay not having the spitball.
Hey, all of a sudden, you see the pitcher, your pitcher.
Just hocking a loogie on the thing.
He throws the ball, it gets hit to you, and you're like, I don't want to touch that.
Yeah, I ain't ready for that.
Yeah, hey, maybe that's where soccer started. They just kicked the ball over the first base.
Potentially.
Right.
Potentially.
Now, if that stat said sports history 1855, they consider bringing back the spitter or legalizing it. 1955 doesn't seem. Just the fact that the commissioner would consider that, to me, seems crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that was 70 years ago on the dot.
Yes. Oh, goodness. Good night. I can't read my writing. Something happened this date in 2016.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I got it. And then I'm going to get your trivia question.
Right.
To me, I want you to, this is not the trivia question, but you tell me, Zach, does this seem like a long time ago or not that long ago? This date, 2016, Peyton Manning retired. Now, if you do the math, that's closing in on 10 years. Does it seem like Peyton Manning has not been retired 10 years, or does it seem like it's not even long enough? It seems like he would.
Yeah, I know that he had the Hall of Fame, and he was the first ballot Hall of Famer, but it doesn't even feel like that was 4 years ago.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, time goes by quickly. It really does, yeah. I would have assumed that it was or later than that.
Same
but
here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Same here. 2016, he's been gone almost 10 years. Maybe because he's so in the spotlight still or something.
Oh, yeah, the Manning castles. That's how I watch Monday Night Football.
All right, here is your question here, Zachary, just for
I'm locked in.
Just for some fun. It's around March Madness and Selection Sunday. By the way, I just heard from Brent Beard. He's on his way home. We should have him with our college
Very nice.
sports news and notes, SEC football news and notes in a minute. All right, Zach, I'm going to give you a 10-year leeway. 10 years, your guess can be 10 years this way or 10 years that way. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
10 years.
UCLA.
Yes. There you go. So, your question, Zachary Rothrock, and all you folks listening, can you tell me within 10 years, over or under, what was the first year the March Madness selection show was televised?
Like the one that's on ESPN?
The one that'll be on next Sunday, 6 o'clock on ESPN. And it is must-see TV. It wasn't always televised. You would just have a AP News blurb or something. Okay, here's the college football field, or I'm sorry, basketball field. And you know how big of a show it is now. Everybody wants to know what region are you in? Who are you playing? What seed are you? Within 10 years, and I would probably miss this. This is tough.
When you say 10 years, I mean 5 before and 5 after?
No, I'll give you 10 and 10.
Oh, man. Well, I'm really going to play with that number and say 1995 then.
1995, you guess.
Has to be between 85 and 2005. Come
on. And you helped me do the math. I think you missed it. 1982.
Oh, that's ignorant. Come on.
So you just missed it, right? But you were close. Whoa, it was ignorant.
Yeah, it is.
If that blew, I thought it was a little early when I saw that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that old. So ESPN's only been on for 1979 was their birth year.
I'm glad you went there. Your thought process is really good. As I thought it through, I went, well, remember, when ESPN started, it was fledgling. Nobody really knew what it was. 24-hour sports. It was supposed to be just in the Connecticut area. Did you know the guy that invented it, his theory was 24 hours, which is hence why the headquarters are still in Bristol.
Right.
Bill Rasmussen and his son, they started ESPN. And his thought was a 24-hour sports show channel of Connecticut sport. He didn't think there was enough and interest. So he got talked into, no, this thing should be fast. So, but that was 79. One of the first events, they struggled for events. They had trouble finding stuff to televise 24/7, right? So the first real big sports that really helped ESPN was this thing called March Madness. Because remember, it was 3 weeks of games wall to wall. But remember, day 1 and 2, rounds 1 and 2, week 1, rounds 3 and 4, week 2, Thursday, Friday. You play on Thursday, Friday. Remember now, way back then, you didn't have many channels. Where were you going to broadcast these games? You weren't going to interrupt NBC, CBS, ABC soap operas. Thursday.
Oh, definitely not the stories.
Thursday at 1, Thursday at 2, Thursday at 3, Friday, right? So ESPN's big break was, hey, we got a boatload of hours. We'll televise every game y'all can give us. So it does kind of make sense that 82 was close to when the marriage between the selection show and ESPN and TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was still early when I read that.
It's almost like the backbone of ESPN.
It really got it started. Really got it started because they needed programming in the worst way. And where were they going to get it? They had no money to go bid on and nobody took and it goes back to what I just said. CBS, NBC, ABC, they bid on the Final Four in the final game, but they didn't have any interest in round 1, round 2 because they weren't going to preempt All My Children, Days of Our Lives, Guiding Light on Thursday and Friday, right?
Right.
So basketball had nowhere to go unless they played it at night. ESPN said, "Hey man, you can play this mofo anywhere. We need games."
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. And now they got so much money and so much programming, they're paying Stephen A. Smith $100 million just to yell all day.
How about that? And he is was that like a 10-year deal?
I think so.
So they have,
and I think it's $100 million per year.
And hey, man, that's your age group, man. Your age group has said we love Stephen A. and we'll watch.
I do like Stephen A. I don't like First Take as a format. I like Stephen A. as a analyst and a person.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Or a personality.
Have you noticed he's gotten so big that he is slowly outgrowing sports? He pops up on Fox. He pops up on your political channels now.
Yeah, he does. And he's got his own platform. He's on the Stephen A. podcast.
Yeah. And, that makes sense.
Definitely doesn't need more publicity.
But, I mean, it makes sense. I don't care politically what Stephen A. thinks or doesn't think. But he has such a massive following.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're Fox or whatever, you know all the outlets. Of course. I mean, that's there's a reason, there's a reason if you've got a big podcast, you're sought after.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's a major influence. I mean, he's one of the most successful in like this industry. He's about the pinnacle of what success is.
And you remember he came through his first time he came through, he flopped and was let go.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
You remember that, don't you?
Yeah, that's how it happens. But then they had the revitalization with him and Skip on their show.
He popped up, this guy Stephen A. Smith, and had a good run, but he never got any real heavy traction. Right. And remember they cycled through. They cycled through and came back to him and said, "Hey, let's try this show," and it caught on. Do you remember? Are you old enough? This was probably, I would guess, in the 15 years ago. ESPN, with regard to programming, they really were trying a bunch of stuff. They had a bunch of game shows. They had a bunch of
Stump the Schwab.
Stump the Schwab. Yes, back in that era, and a lot of them, not a lot of them hit, but they were trying. They tried a lot of stuff. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the best move they did was when they moved to the 8 hours a day Sports Center. Mm-hmm. It's easy. That's what everyone wants. That's what's on in the bar.
Yeah. But you remember that they would introduce. They would introduce, and a couple things hit, such as, pardon the interruption, and even though the show's just got announced as canceled, that
Around the Horn,
but they missed on a lot, but they tried, and they introduced some wacky stuff. And a lot of it was game show-esque. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like the Stump the Schwab was a trivia show, basically.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Stump the Schwab, actually.
I did too.
Yeah, I mean, and pardon the interruption, that was kind of a pioneer in sports
Groundbreaking.
TV. Yeah, with
Groundbreaking.
Having the
And then-
topics on the side.
And then every guy like you and me in sports broadcasting, we watched, pardon the interruption, particularly the first few years, PTI.
Yeah.
and this is such a compliment I'm going to give them. You watch this show, they got two good hosts, two friends that were really good at it.
Oh, yeah.
But the show is so simple, the concept. And you go, my God, they're telling you on the sideline what's coming up next to keep you engaged. They've got a countdown so things don't drag on, right? It's simple.
Oh, yeah, it's the best. Yeah, simple is the best.
It really, and you know, they are now playing out because they've done it so long, but Wilbon and Kornheiser, number one, they were friends. And I remember when that show was at its peak. When it was at its peak, probably, 10 years ago. It's been around about 30 years now, right? 25, 30 years.
Yeah, I think it started when I was like in the 5th grade.
Yeah. When it was at its peak, obviously it's on a downslide now, and they're going to retire soon, probably. When it was at its peak, all the TV broadcast people would say, wow, look around the sports broadcasting genre. Everything, the sports, the teams, the fans, the eyeballs you try to attract, everything is young. Yet the dominant show at one point was two old guys.
Yeah.
But the format,
Kornheiser's been the oldest dude in the room for 20 years.
But isn't that funny? But the concept, number one, they were so good, and they are good. They're
100%.
good.
Oh, yeah.
But they were old guys from day one in a young guy world, but they were so good, and the concept of the show was so basically good. It dominated. It was crazy to see two old guys dominating a young market, and they did.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, the thing that I like about it over First Take is they don't artificially disagree on every single topic and yell at each other.
Yeah,
Sometimes they disagree and they go back and forth.
But yeah, that show, and who all's on First Take now?
It's Stephen A, and then it's like a parade of different hosts. I think Shannon Sharp is kind of the more
but you're
main
right.
one now.
Boy, you nailed something that I agree with. I'm not saying I think we're right, but I'll throw it out. A lot of the shows, radio or TV, terrestrial or TV, streaming or whatever, all these shows, a lot of them, it's so forced, right?
Yeah, it feels like they
rehearse about 30 minutes before. Okay, are you taking the Lucas side or are you taking the Maverick side?
Right, yeah. It feels like it's a lot of that.
And you can see through that and hear through, right? It's bad TV. It's bad broadcast.
Yeah, and then like Skip Bayless decides that LeBron sucks in his first year, and he just doubles down and triples down and quadruples down.
And you could, when Skip would take his side, you could see his nose growing. He didn't even believe half of his side.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And you could see through that, though, couldn't you?
I feel like most people can. That's probably why it lost traction.
Yeah. And then I think the other thing that kills our industry in broadcasting, now there are about, I think I counted up this morning, 562 billion angry who can yell over who shows. Who can yell loudest?
That's the First Take show. Yeah, I don't like that format.
Who can yell loudest show. All right, let's take a break. We hope to get Brent Beard on. SEC news and notes. Just about everybody's practicing. Who needs to do something? Who's a player that you might need to know? Things like that.
I got to ask him, where in the world is DJ Lackway?
No.
That's what I want to know.
Lingering shoulder injury. Where the hell did this come from?
Wow.
Gator Nation, just a little. I know he's out there doing air. He's on air, not throwing.
Pretty spooky.
Where did that come from?
No, he wasn't even. Yeah, he wasn't throwing on air.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of dropping back and mimicking, not even throwing motion, just reading, fake reads and
mental reps.
Yeah, mental reps is what they call it. A little bit concerning though, because that wasn't the injury that made him miss time. It was a lower body injury.
Yeah, it was a hamstring.
Right? Hammy.
Yeah.
Hammy. Anyway, maybe we're reading too much.
Reported hamstring.
We're maybe reading too much into that, but
we're not reading enough.
We'll see. Let's talk to Brent Beard, hopefully on the other side. SEC news and notes from football camp on the other side.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
All right, let's dive into some SEC spring football news and don'ts here. Before we do this, though, Zach, we're going to get Brent Beard on, we think, momentarily. You'll let me know. Zach, do you mess with, I know you're a lot younger than me, do you mess with an email account? Do you do email much?
I do. In what context?
Okay, just that I use email for business a lot, and, personal a little bit, mainly business, but I'm on email all the time. My God, I get overrun by trash email.
Yeah, that happens.
God almighty. And this is my theory. Tell me if it's true. I've come to the conclusion, when you get a random email, it may be somebody pitching you a product or something. Generally, if you want to take the time, you either got to delete it or scroll to the bottom, and they will, I think by law, they're supposed to have an unsubscribe, right? You have to.
In theory, yes.
My theory on the unsubscribe, I think when you hit unsubscribe, that makes more emails come. I don't think it works.
That could be a Hydra situation where you cut off one head and two more appear.
It
for
is,
sure.
man. I get and at some point you either have to unsubscribe and hope that works, or you got to knock them all out. You got to take the time, delete. Mass delete.
The number one way to not get those type of emails is stop going to those shady websites you go to.
Like trying to give money to a good cause and stuff like that?
That is not the website I'm talking about.
No, help nuns cross the street, stuff like that.
No. Well, that might be what they're doing at the beginning of the video.
Zach, I know not what you talk, and I know Brent Beard does not know what you talk of there.
No, obviously not.
I think we've got Brent on.
We do?
I thought I heard
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Number one, Terry Norvelle is as pure as the driven snow on a convent roof.
Preach on. Preach on, sir. Preach on.
Yeah.
You've got the floor. Preach on, my man. How you doing? You got the car fixed?
I had a nail in it, so that slowed things. Down.
Hey, Brent, I don't have a big auto knowledge.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think the area of the car that's good to have a big nail in it. I don't know where that is.
Yeah. That would be the. Listen, and that's the second nail I've had in a tire in the last 2 weeks. With all the construction going on around here, I know that's hard to imagine.
Yeah. So you nailed it. You nailed it, Brent.
Yeah, and I'm tired too. Okay.
Yeah, I bet. Hey, we won't keep you long. Got some great.
I'm making a pun there.
Yeah. Oh, I got you. Got a lot of your good news and notes, spring football around the SEC we're going to look at. The first thing I thought was really cool, and Zach and I talked about it, went over the schedule. Auburn and Baylor, they moved their game to the 29th Friday, and boy, that makes they're the marquee game that night. I love that move.
Yes. Yeah. Look, if you wanted some exposure, that's the time to do it. Certainly for Baylor, and you remember Terry Baylor actually got Baylor won like the last 6 games in a row.
Yeah.
That's
a nice game.
It is, and Auburn's breaking in a new quarterback, and so I don't know why teams don't play on Labor Day weekend. Now, look, I know the SEC teams, and I get them not wanting to do that.
Yeah.
But the reality is for Baylor. Man, that's a boon for them, isn't it, Terry?
Yeah, hell, they're at home. If they go out and pull an upset, that's
absolutely
really nice. But and we went over the schedule. I know we're way out, but the next day, the 30th of August, that's really the first college football Saturday. I know there's one before,
right?
And you can get buried on that Saturday. I mean, you got Texas, Ohio State, Alabama, FSU. You got LSU, Clemson. What I really love about that Labor Day weekend, and we're going to talk about this a lot going into football season. Sunday they have 2 games, and they're two good. They're two good games, right? Including Notre Dame, who picked up their schedule a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame, Miami, Virginia Tech, South Carolina. I love having 2 games on that day, don't you?
I believe that Virginia Tech, South Carolina game. Terry's in Atlanta.
I think so.
I think that's the second part of the Chick-fil-A Classic.
Yeah.
To go along with that too, and then one of the headliners that weekend is LSU at Clemson.
Yeah, we talked about that. That's on that Saturday. I think that's on that.
Yes.
I understand why the Labor Day night game is what it is. It doesn't compel me a lot. It's a 3.5 hour show Belichick on the sideline.
It is.
TCU at North Carolina. They could have done a better job. But I get the Belichick. It is a once-in-a-lifetime situation where a 6-time Super Bowl coach is back in the game. I get it. But that game doesn't compel me a lot.
Terry, who would get more camera time, Belichick or the girlfriend?
Oh, yeah. That's a good call. They will find her like Taylor Swift. You may as well call her Taylor Swift Light that night, right?
She will be.
She will be. She's probably picking her outfit out right now. You know that? No doubt. All right, Brent, let's dive in, man. We got a good 20 minutes before we get out of here. I didn't get every SEC school, but some news and notes. Alabama first. Ty Simpson, Keelan Russell, dual threat quarterback. Is that thing open? The quarterback situation in Alabama? You think Ty?
Yes.
He's thrown 50 passes. That's not a lot.
no. But Simpson's been there. This is the third year.
Yeah.
So at some point, you've accumulated something. I mean, I would think he'd be the leader in the clubhouse, but this Keelan Russell kid they've got, who's a true freshman, they think he's out of this world.
Yeah.
But I mean, my stars, Terry, do you throw a true freshman into the SEC immediately? But look, in this day and age, if the kid can play, and he's your best quarterback.
But, you could easily see one of those by game 4, by game 5. It's his job.
Could be.
Your notes, I think it told me. I think it was your notes. Keelan Russell, this hotshot dual threat quarterback Alabama signed from Texas, dual threat guy. He's one of the highest rated players they've ever signed.
Yeah,
and that's a mouthful for Alabama now.
Yeah, he's like the number one recruit. Or was in 24/7 Sports. Now they've also got another kid, Austin Mack, who is all of 6'6", who came from Washington. Look, I'll tell you this: I don't care who it is, he'll be more accurate than Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, definitely. Moving to Arkansas, they add, as if their schedule wasn't tough, they add Notre Dame. They got Notre Dame coming in.
Really.
Pittman needs some wins. He's got to redo his offensive line. I think their quarterback, Green's got talent, but they've got to revamp that line, right? Arkansas, that's probably their main thing.
It is. And with Pittman there, that they will. Now, obviously, Bobby Petrino did well, and we'll get him another year. But no, I think Green is a really good quarterback. They've got to replace their running back situation.
Yeah.
That's another deal there. But Pittman needs to be a little more than 6-6, Terry.
I agree. Auburn, Jackson Arnold, will he be their quarterback? He doesn't do a whole lot for me. He's a transfer from where, Oklahoma?
Yep. They I can tell you right now, they've never gotten over this situation where if a quarterback has success against Alabama or a player, or a coach, that's who they've got to go out and get. But frankly, as usual, you hit on it. Jackson Arnold's not a great quarterback by any means. Now Terry, like Alabama, they've got this Deuce Knight. I know you talked about him before. You remember he was committed to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And then he ended up signing with Auburn. So what would the odds be of Alabama and Auburn playing at Auburn at the end of the year with two freshman quarterbacks?
That'd be nuts. I also, real quick to get off Auburn, they get a really nice receiver portal guy, Eric Singleton. Cam Coleman's a star in the making, but are these guys going to get wasted on the vine with no quarterback play?
Right. Well, and that's what happened last year.
Yeah.
The Singleton kid, you remember him, Terry? He was at Georgia Tech.
Nice player.
And I'm not saying they wasted his talent, but he'll probably go from 30 catches to 60 maybe.
Georgia, you heard half of the fan base yesterday groaned, and half of the fan base said, "Oh, that's Kirby and loyalty." Mike Bobo staying on, getting an extension. Good news or bad news for Georgia? Boy, that's a love-hate relationship with Georgia Nation and Mike Bobo.
Do you ever remember a coordinator with a team? That'd be a fun show that we should do this summer. Did you ever remember a coordinator with a team that is so loved, hated as Bobo is?
Mike Bobo. He's one of them. He's a Georgia guy.
He is.
Yeah.
He really is.
Georgia, first time in years, and it's fun to play football when you don't have this, but first time in years Georgia had this. Their offensive line underachieved by their standards.
Badly.
And Georgia's got to catch the ball. They go out and bring in some new receivers.
Yeah,
it was alarming as a great one of the best teams in the country, how many passes Georgia dropped.
Well, they led the nation in drop passes. I mean, you and I both thought that Dominic Lovett coming over from Missouri might solve some of that.
Yeah, man, he was weird.
Really did not.
He had a weird 2 years there.
He did, didn't he?
He was a good player before he got there, and he just kind of offensively, LSU could light things up. Boy, I think Nussmeier's a pretty good college quarterback. He knows the game. He comes back to LSU. I don't think Brian Kelly's much of a coach. I think he's a car salesman. Nussmeier, though, boy, they've added some weapons. They bring in Anderson, the wide receiver from Oklahoma, and Brown, the speed guy from Kentucky.
I just don't trust Brian Kelly. I just think I think Brian Kelly's got a lot of car salesman in him.
Yeah. Barian Brown from Kentucky is not only a good receiver, but he basically led the SEC in return.
Yeah.
Now, Terry, the biggest deal for LSU was Bo Davis leaving.
Yeah.
Bo Davis had come over. He was at Texas.
Yeah.
And he is going to the Saints. God bless him for going to the Saints.
And that was late, right? That was late in the process.
Yeah, it was like last week.
Yes.
So that shocked a lot of people, but that really hurt them. I hear they may be going, and you've got the name in front of you, but they may be looking at the Southern Cal defensive line coach.
Gotcha.
Is who they're looking at, maybe as a possibility for that.
Gotcha.
But Terry, he's a loss. He's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best D line coach in the nation. The other thing is, Bo Davis was the highest paid position coach. I don't mean coordinator.
Yeah. How about
but
that?
Position. I mean they were paying Bo about 1.5 or something like that as a position coach.
And what would you pay for his Rolodex? He knows every high school. He's been doing it for so long. He could tell you every high school below the Mason-Dixon line. I guarantee you that. Bouncing around with Brent Beard here, final segment on a Friday. SEC spring football has pretty much gotten started all over. I think Mississippi State's going to struggle again.
Yes.
But I'm all in with this Luke Kromenhoek. The kid that left FSU.
Yep.
I think the end of the year, we're going to look back and go, I don't know the inside scoop on this, but why the hell did FSU not find a way to keep Luke Kromenhoek and they went with Thomas Castellanos?
Look, you and I think are on the same page with this. Castellanos is what, Jackson Arnold?
He's just a guy.
At Auburn. I mean, aren't they basically the same guy?
Yeah.
I mean, they can run a little bit. But I'm telling you, Terry, I'm not sure FSU is in a better situation now than they were with DJU. And the other thing you've got is, the Gus bus is at Auburn now. Gus Malzahn, and I'm truthfully don't know if they're much improved.
No, the Gus bus is at FSU.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
What I say,
it said Auburn, but I knew what you meant. And boy, that dynamic, I worry about who thinks they're really the head coach in Tallahassee with Gus rolling in.
Well, Gus may only be there to Terry a year or two at the most.
Yeah. Oklahoma, it's a race right now. Will their head coach Venables will Venables find a quality quarterback before he's shown the door? They're praying to God the guy from Washington State is the next Cam Ward, right? That Mateer guy. I don't know. I don't know about that. Ole Miss looks like they're going to roll with Austin Simmons. Remember, we saw him in one game. We saw him in one game and one drive against Georgia, and he didn't blink an eye. I'm intrigued about him because is there a better quarterback coach in the country than Lane Kiffin?
No, there really isn't. Now I'll tell you one thing. He's a better play caller than he is a quarterback coach. Terry, you mentioned Oklahoma, which has jogged my memory. And this just came out a few days ago. Speaking of Brent Venables, they lost their D coordinator, and they were all up in arms about what they were due. Venables finally decided, you know what? I'm probably the best D coordinator that they can have.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be the D coordinator this year. I mean, my star, Terry, that's like Steve Spurrier not calling plays.
Yeah,
I mean, if you right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's nonsense.
Yeah, when Bob Stoops was there as the head coach, I guarantee if I'm paying Bob Stoops, hey, you're doing a lot of hands-on with defense. You're Bob friggin' Stoops. You're Bob Stoops. South Carolina's intriguing to me. Yeah. Don't look now, but they're going to have, I think, not one but two potential players of the year on offense and defense. Lenore Sellers came out of nowhere and had a hell of a year. He'll be one of your leaders for offensive player of the year. And then, they bring one of those menacing defensive guys. Dylan Stewart comes back.
That's right.
I'm so wrong about this program. And Shane Beamer, he still strikes me as a Harry High School. When's it going to run out? But
Yeah,
it looks like they're building. They're building more. They need a running back, I think. They always have that one bell cow running back. They need to find that guy. But damn, South Carolina's a program I've been wrong about.
Yeah, they joined the club on that one. Runkett Sanders is left, so they do need to
that's
replace
a hit,
him.
Man. He's good.
It is. Rasul Faison is a guy they think it will be. Now, Mike Shula, the former Bama coach, is going to be their offensive coordinator. They've promoted him, and my understanding is they're gonna have Lenore Sellers more quarterback runs.
Yeah,
I get it. He's a talented kid, but I'm telling you, Terry, that you got to be careful with that. You get him hurt, he's out for the year after the third game. That's a real problem.
Yeah, he has what I love in players. He's got that it factor.
Yeah, he does.
He may not be the best. He may not be the best passer. He may not be the best true quarterback, but damn, he makes plays.
He does.
Damn, he makes plays. His third and 8, and protection breaks down, and he's about to get sacked, but he gets 9.5. You know,
yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Your notes were very compelling. What I pulled out of Tennessee. How about Josh Heupel and Tennessee? Heupel hasn't been there, 5 years maybe? He's been there about 5 years. How about all the decades that have gone by that Tennessee football would have killed to have 2 wins over Alabama and 2 wins over – Heupel's got 2 wins over Bama and 2 wins over Florida. In the days gone by – that you would have been the governor of Tennessee,
no doubt.
But it hadn't been enough for Tennessee.
No. I mean, they still want it. It's not going to be enough until they win the SEC. I'm not sure that's coming this year either.
No, I wouldn't pick them to win it all.
No,
in the SEC.
No, not at all.
10 minutes left. A couple more topics, and I want to talk about Florida and DJ Lagway a little bit. If you know anything about this lingering shoulder that just popped up out of nowhere, Texas. Don't look now. They may have the best defense player in the country. I mean, we were just talking about South. Yeah. This Colin Simmons guy came onto the scene. What a nice player. Texas, the Longhorns got to revamp their offensive line. They're a team. Speaking of need to find a running back, has anybody had more quality running backs go down and they just plug them in? Texas, man, they've had a lot of injuries. The other Texas school that I'm really interested in player, what are your thoughts on Marcel Reed, the Texas A&M dual threat? He can look so good, and then other times they bring all their offensive linemen back. They've got a couple of marquee games early. Boy, some of those games that Reed played, he looked like Johnny Manziel.
He did. He really did. Terry, who's better, Reed or Olenor Sellers? Are they the same guy?
Woo! About the same guy.
They are.
Reed may throw it a little better, and Sellers is a little thicker and bigger.
Yeah.
But man, winners. That Reed guy, the game in Gainesville when they handed him the ball.
Yes.
He knew he was starting about Thursday. They handed him the ball. He chewed Florida up. He chewed. That'll be fun to track him. And finally, Vanderbilt with Clark Lee. What a year. Do you buy into the Diego Pavia? He's back.
Yes.
Was that smoking? Was that smoke and mirrors? Can he do it again?
I think you could. Now he won't take anybody by surprise.
Yeah.
But see the thing they did was, I mean, they just ate you up about 3 yards at a time, and they just methodically went down the field. And you've got to be really patient with them. Now you called this last year. When you want to play Vanderbilt to November,
sure.
Because at that point the attrition's gotten to them,
beat them down a little bit.
And they're not as good as they usually are.
Well, you were right. Vanderbilt, they had the mentality. 3rd and 3, they owned, and it might not be, and it might not have been conventional because Pavia didn't do a lot of conventional play.
Yeah.
But they were going to get 3 1/4 if it was 3rd and 3. They were. I'll tell you one thing. If your boy Clark Lee goes out and gets 7 or 8 this year, then he's real. Then
Look, Terry, if he goes out this year and he's able to do that, is somebody offering him $8 to $10 million to coach their team?
You would think. All right, we got about 5 minutes left here, Brent. I'm feeling a little bit better about Florida. I wish I wish Napier had publicly announced some change between himself and the offense. I'm over the moon about Steve Spurrier Jr.
Yeah.
I don't think Steve Spurrier Jr. is coming in as an analyst and just going to help chart plays. At 53 years old with his resume. Might Russ Callaway and let me just leave it at this. Could a Spurrier save Florida football again? On the offensive side?
Well, I'll answer that with this caveat. If Napier allows him to.
Great point. I just can't believe that Bubba Spurrier agrees to come to Florida as he has as a offensive analyst. I just don't think at 53 years old with his resume, he's coming to chart quarterback throws in practice and self-evaluate a little bit. I've got to believe he's been told, hey, man, you're going to help us with game day, with play calling, and I don't know. I'm just hypothesizing here. Maybe a Russ Callaway has let it be known his ultimate goal is the NFL.
Yeah.
And people talk like that. I've got to believe that Steve Spurrier Jr., and I think he knows football. I think he knows offensive football. I've got to believe Steve Spurrier Jr. is going to have his fingerprints on hopefully the Florida offense, the play calling, and the game management. He's going to help. Yeah. I'm excited about Spurrier maybe saving Florida football.
Let me ask you this. You and I have heard all the negative things, and we've said our share too. Well, I don't know if they're negative as much as they're just realistic.
Sure.
But the reality of it is, I mean, Terry, to me, Florida, with all their flaws, is still a better special team situation and a healthy Lagway and a functional offense away from being a solid program maybe for years.
It looks, yeah.
If they can figure this out, if Napier will allow and again, there's a lot of this we don't know, but will allow the coaches to do what they need to do. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's very fair. Will he allow people? Let me help you, or whatever Tom Cruise said. Help me help you, or whatever. He needs some of that. Brent, we'll leave it with this last topic, and Zach can jump in as well. Zach does some shows out of Gainesville. Zach may have some additional information. Boy, a couple of days ago, you started hearing DJ Lagway limited in spring practice, a lingering shoulder issue that, I mean, I don't cover the team day to day. I'm not down there, but I haven't heard anything about shoulder, and he's supposedly just going through mental reps. Brett, do you know anything? Zach, do you hear anything when you're in Gainesville on a lingering shoulder injury with DJ Lagway? Anybody?
I've had Gator beat writers basically have texted me, and they didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So, and Zach may have heard more, but no, they have. That's one they have not, and I guess I understand it, but they have not been transparent about that at all.
Zach, anything to add on this? I know we were talking about Mark Long, who is an AP guy who's covered Florida football for a long time, and he tweeted some stuff the other day, kind of like, where the hell did this come from?
Yeah, he basically just said that the whole thing smells funny, and it feels as if the Gator football team is potentially trying to keep something under wraps. I'm not sure how serious it is. I mean, if it were a week 3 football game, he'd probably be playing and participating. But I mean, there's definitely something that they're not telling to the public.
But a perceived savior of the program who missed a chunk of games with a hammy, now days before spring practice, having talk about a totally different issue health-wise that is not going to allow you to, or it's going to make you miss a day or two at least. He's already missed a day or two of spring practice. Wow. I can understand that would make Gator Nation a little uneasy.
Sure it would. But they need the continuity, don't they, guys? I mean, they need him. They need him out there working with those receivers. I mean, they will in the offseason. We know that, but with the coaches on the field, they need that.
But hopefully somebody down there still has the phone number of Aiden Warner. Wasn't that the guy's name? Aiden Warner started. How about Aiden Warner?
Ivy Leaguer.
Hey, Aiden Warner. 60 years from now, in a rocking chair on his front porch, with his grandson on his knee, gets to say, "I played in the Florida-Georgia game as quarterback, and I started and played a game against the Texas Longhorns." Aiden, wasn't that his name? Aiden Warner, I think it was.
Yeah. And Terry, by the time that grandchild was about 10 years old, at that point, that story will mean that he was a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Absolutely. Brent, good time for us, man. It looked good to see all those notes about spring ball, man. Spring ball
really is.
Spring ball's here.
And look, Terry, it's a big game. It's a big day tomorrow for the SEC in basketball.
It really is.
I mean, Alabama and Auburn take care of itself. It's big for Ole Miss against Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, Oklahoma, Texas play.
That might be a play-in, play-out game.
Yes. So you've got a situation more with and look, the tournament. You and I said this a few days ago, that the SEC tournament this year is going to be more for the teams in that middle of the pack. Who are really trying to get up the seed, but more than anything else.
Totally agree. We lean heavy college and SEC football. Obviously, Monday we'll know everybody's seeding in the SEC. We do know Florida plays the third game on Friday, the 7 o'clock. But obviously we'll dive back into college basketball. It is college basketball season on Monday as we head into big boy conference tournaments. Brent, good job. Thank you, and enjoy your weekend, my friend. Be safe.
Terry, one thing we'll pursue some more next week is there, and I'm curious if you've heard this, but there's more of a hue and cry for college basketball to go to quarters instead of halves.
I've definitely heard of that. Thank you, Brent. We'll talk about it. That's Brent Beard. That is the end of our show. Thank you for hanging out. We'll do it again Monday, 4 o'clock, the Young and Norvelle Show.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.